our household, when I left corporate, took about a 60%, 58% to be exact, pay cut. And in doing that, we've really had to watch our budget much more closely. Hi everyone, it's Tina with Picture It Personal Finance, where I ask you to picture your goal, plan to achieve it, and enjoy your success. Today, I want to talk about overlooked budget items that have gotten me in the last 3 months. You see, prior to leaving my corporate job, my husband and I were making as a joint household income about 60% more than we are now. So our household, when I left corporate, took about a 60%, 58% to be exact, pay cut. And in doing that, we've really had to watch our budget much more closely. I've always been a budgeter and I've always balanced my checkbook. But here's the thing. In the past, we used to do what I called a budget template versus a zero-based budget. And I have a video that explains the difference between those. I will link it for you. Now that we are needing to pursue more of a zero-based budget, knowing all these little odds and end type items that crop up is important for the budgeting process. And I have had 12 items crop up in the last 3 months that have surprised me and screwed up my budget. And I want to share those with you so that you can hopefully learn from my mistakes and be better planned for the future. There is going to be one extra one I throw in there that I am currently saving for, but I know it gets a lot of people, so I'm going to tack that on as, lucky number 13 at the end. And I think you'll understand why I saved it for 13 because, I don't know, there's a hidden joke in there. Okay, so I'm looking at my list over here. The first one that had snagged us was a requirement for specialized clothing. Whether you're going to a wedding or a formal event where you don't want to wear some, old thing out of your closet, or whether it's for a dance rehearsal or some other extracurricular thing for your kids, know that you might have to spend money coming up for certain clothing needs. We had just spent our entire sinking funds on back to school clothes for the kids, and then a month later I found out a necessity for my daughter to wear an all black outfit, and we had nothing that was solid black. So I had to go out and buy her a whole new outfit, including a pair of shoes, to make sure that she was dressed appropriately for this event that she had. This could very easily happen to you. So especially if you're that age where people are getting married and you have galas and things like that you're actively involved in, be prepared for an additional line item for formal event attire. Hand in hand with that, item number 2 is wedding gifts, baby shower gifts, and children's birthday parties. We already have a line item in our budget for household birthdays, so that could be birthdays for anybody in our immediate family or the birthdays we know we're always invited to. I never want to come empty-handed to an event like this. I would encourage everyone to just set a little bit more money aside, especially if you know you've got a lot of those coming up in the year. And if it's a close family friend where you want to be especially generous, make sure you're thinking about that. Item number 3 is trips to Sam's Club or Costco or any of those wholesale clubs. I have a line item for groceries and sundries, and I stick to that pretty consistently on the months that I don't go to Sam's Club. Sam's Club, I don't know what it is about Sam's Club and Costco, but I cannot seem to walk out of there without spending less than, I'm saying that backwards, without spending more than $300. It always seems that I spend between $300 and $400 when I go there, and it blows my socks off every time, and yet it happens every time. So I've come to understand that we end up running about once every month and a half to 2 months, and I'm incorporating that into my budget now as part of my sinking funds. Item number 4 is antivirus. I think we use McAfee right now, and it's like $80 a year, but every year that pops up, and in the past, easy peasy, just cash flowed it, no sweat. But now it's another line item that needs to be considered for the future. Item number 5 is furniture. Furniture does not need to be refreshed very often, but furniture can be very expensive if you have smaller children and you're going to need to upgrade to a better bed. Please be aware that's something that you might need to save for. If you have dogs and cats, make sure that you're considering things like Frontline and anything that can help ensure that you don't end up with an infestation in your house. And if you sense that you have fleas or anything like that starting, attack it straight away because it's so much better to nip it in the bud while it's small. Right on in there. Doggy daycare. That's something that we have done with our dog where we would take her about every, I don't know, maybe like once every couple weeks, once a month. And frankly, I think that might be where she got the fleas. But it's something we do for socializing her. We'd forgotten because we had a punch card on how expensive it could be, but to re up that punch card was like $280, I think. And so that'll last us for a good amount of time. But again, it's one of those expenses overlooked, didn't think about. And if you have a dog that you're grooming, that's part of the pet care along with veterinary expenses that you may need to consider for your sinking funds or part of your monthly budget. In addition to that, eyeglasses and contacts. That would be item number 8 on my list. I've had to renew my contact subscription since coronavirus started, and that is one of those expenses that, again, you don't think about it all the time because it only happens once a year, but when it comes up, it can be a bit spendy, especially if you are due for new glasses as well. Item number 9 is HVAC. Whether it's a tune-up or needing them to come in and change your filters. This is one that happens every quarter for our household, and this was the first quarter that I didn't cash flow it, but needed to actually pull from savings to pay for it because, again, it was not part of my standing budget. Another item that has come up is landscaping. If you are like us, you will do your aerating and lay some of the proactive seed down now so that in the spring it will look wonderful. And then in the spring, we'll want to get, new mulch and new stuff to stain the shutters and new seeds and plants to just, get that curb appeal that everybody desires. That is something that you should be budgeting for and thinking about now so that you'll be prepared to spend that money next spring or in the coming months. Item number 11 is seasonal sports. We just signed the kids up for soccer. That includes a need for shin guards, soccer socks, new cleats, and then also just the fees for participating in the rec center intramural or extracurricular activity as it is. Perhaps your child is in a different sport or in band or something like that. You'll have uniform costs, and these are something to consider as part of your sinking funds. And then the last one I wanted to bring up that we actually suffered or had to deal with ourselves is tech replacement. We had a device that we needed to renew, and it was an iPad, and so we went ahead and replaced that iPad, but we were able to buy one secondhand, so we didn't have to spend a lot of money on it, but it did cause some changes. We had some activation fees we had to do, so again, unexpected expenses that took us by surprise. Now, one that has not taken us by surprise, and it is item number 13 that I want to bring up for you because I know it takes a lot of other people by surprise, is taxes. Everybody says you shouldn't be getting a refund and you shouldn't be paying in, but it can be really difficult to get that sort of matched up just right so that you never get a refund and you never pay in. For full disclosure, my husband and I have paid in consistently year after year after year, and I am at the point now where we are saving. We have a fair sense on how much we have to pay in every year, and we just set that aside, and then we let the money, bear some interest for us, and then we pay the government well ahead of the deadline. However, if you're not already saving for that, please make sure that you are. Being stuck owing the IRS money is not a great place to be. It is not bankruptable. I know people think they can get out of that, but you're always going to pay Big Brother. He is going to get his fair share out of you, and so be prepared for that. Make sure that you stay on the up and up with your taxes and think about what you've owed in the past and be ready for it. All right, guys. So again, that is where we are. These are some of the things that have surprised us in the recent past because, again, our household income decreased by 58%. And so while I still have no regrets for leaving my corporate job and while I am eagerly looking forward to all of the excitement and fun that I will have as a personal finance coach, I do really recognize that it's a learning game for me all the time, just like it is for you, and I want us to learn together. If you have other budget items that you have overlooked, please leave them in the comments below so that we can help one another out, and be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.